Whenever Apple releases a product, be it a phone, a laptop, or even headphones, everyone sits up and takes notice. But yesterday, when Apple released their AirPods Max, most of us sat up, watched it like it was a second moon landing, and promptly fell out of our seats once the price was announced. Okay, I know how ridiculous this video sounds. How can I even make a video about headphones that I haven't heard yet? But guys, this is not a review. We are just setting expectations for how well the AirPods Max have to perform to justify that price tag. For most of us, headphones aren't a very difficult purchase decision. After all, we buy something and if we don't like the sound of it or if it happens to break, we just swap it with something else. General purpose audio gear tends to be on the inexpensive side of things. So here are some of the factors that I personally look into before pulling the trigger on an expensive pair of cans. Comfort, sound quality, battery life, compatibility, feature set, and the big one, the price. Like a leather strap might seem very comfortable, but once we put it on, we find the top of our head resting against hard metal. So this is something I'll have to tell you guys more after I try the product. Initial impressions though, Apple has gone for a very premium build, stainless steel frame and aluminum cups. Of course, metal equals weight, so it's no surprise that at 385 grams, the AirPods Max outweigh many of its competitors. So we have what seems to be a plush breathable mesh headband, a beautiful telescopic slider for the side adjustment mechanism, and a control scheme that can only be described as unique. Now, I'm a fan of physical buttons. I've said that many times over in the past. So I'd rather have the digital crown for volume and playback rather than any touch controls. There's an additional button that lets us toggle between transparency and noise cancellation. Let's now talk about sound by talking about everything else other than the sound. Yeah, I know, but guys, like everyone else out there, we don't really have them in hand right now. So yeah, this isn't a world exclusive. But hey, I'm not just gonna talk about the specs either. Because what does 40mm drivers with an H1 chip in each cup even mean? Well, Apple is promising that we are gonna get an amazing soundstage along with spatial audio. So what's that? Well, let's say we are playing Call of Duty. You know how we can hear footsteps and then see their direction on the minimap? Well, with great spatial audio, we don't need those markings on the map. We can just listen to the footsteps and tell where they are relative to us. Now gamers are pretty familiar with this tech, and if you have a 5.1 or higher surround system at home, you might have experienced this with movies as well. The next unique thing that the H1 chips bring to the table is that Apple claims they can tune the sound signature depending on how the AirPods Max sit on our ears. Sounds really cool and futuristic. I just hope Apple knows what they're doing here, because they're not going up against the likes of Bose's QC35 or Sony's WH-1000 XM4. At this price range, we are looking at audiophile grade cans like Hi-Fi Man's Ananda BT. It's a planar magnetic headphone that punches way above its price tag. On the battery side of things, Apple claims 20 hours on a single charge. That should be enough for most people, including me. And then we have fast charging on board. 5 minutes of charge for 1.5 hours of listening. Now, we also have a smart case. I mean, it's smart in the way that it puts the AirPods Max into ultra low power consumption mode, but the rest of the design, the lack of an inbuilt battery, it ain't that smart, is it? Now, while I'm expecting Apple to nail the build and battery life, and I'm cautiously optimistic about sound quality, Tim Apple, please don't make me regret saying this.
We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
Features though is one area where we can be sure that Apple will take the lead. After all, just take the H1 chips for example. When it comes to pairing, AirPods and iPhones connect within seconds. And thanks to the Apple ecosystem, once we pair an AirPods to any one of our devices, it's automatically paired with any other device that has the same Apple ID. And then we have active noise cancellation. Apple debuts their features and then perfects them over time. And based on just how good the noise cancellation is on the tiny AirPods Pro, I have high hopes for it on the AirPods Max as well. Which then brings us to compatibility. And since this is a Bluetooth headphone, it should connect to Androids and iPhones just fine. But the functionality, that might be a tad limited on the Android side of things. Because you just stepped out of Apple's bubble. Yes, I know, I've been throwing around that word a lot. Apple's bubble, Apple's ecosystem, whatever. But that's because I honestly think that this product caters specifically to people who live inside that bubble. Not only are these people dependent on Apple products to fill the void in their lives, but I honestly think they are the people who'd get the most out of it. Okay, if it wasn't clear already, the first part was a joke, but the second part, it wasn't. If you're an audiophile, you'd find much better solutions, like the Hi-Fi Man Ananda BT at just 10,000 rupees more here in India. If you are a casual user who's just stepping into the world of high-end audio, then you can get Hi-Fi Man's Deva at 18,000 rupees and even Audio-Technica ADH M50 Bluetooth at around the same price. And if you just want to have some bass, then there are the Sennheiser 4.50 BT. Heck, these aren't even for the people who want to flaunt the Apple logo, because there aren't any. And yeah, honest opinion time guys, I really don't think these should exist. I mean, they are overpriced as heck, but I'm afraid that in a couple of months, I'd have to eat my own words because Apple would have already set the trend for 60,000 rupee headphones. Yeah, I know, sad. Anyway, that's my hot take on the AirPods Max. Do let me know in the comments below what you think about it. As always, like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot for watching till the end guys. Have a good one. Cheers.